Sorry, it's kind of a longer intro tonight. I want a few people here before we start reporting tonight because we have a very important event has happened. So just be patient. This is all results of our storm. And we're all right. Howdy, folks. Welcome back. I told you I'd be back. All right, here we go. Very important event happened right here. This is the Nemesis system with a bunch of moons around it. And once we get into it, and I'll start zooming in and pointing stuff out, and you're going to see that we had quite an event. It's a lot more than meets the eye. But what I'm going to do for the moment there, kind of got it zoomed in for the thumbnail. I'm going to back out of this real quick, and we're just going to start in with the normal solar report, and then we'll get into this. So let me get this loop playing real quick for you. Um, I want you to note January 11th, 2024, very significant date on God's celestial calendar. Everybody was wondering what was going to happen today. The return of the Nemesis system is what happened. Well, a lot of everything happened. A lot of stuff happened today, especially in the news and the War Department and everything as well, which is unfortunate for the people who make war. All right, sorry, I'm just trying to get everything dialed in without wavy lines and all this stuff before we get into this, because all right, that's pretty good. I'll let you go ahead and take a look at this big event right here. Note also the beginning of the loop, this white spire that we've been watching all week. Aha, that was what it was pointing at the whole time. Okay, what I need you to do, kind of while we're here, actually, is tilt your head to the right about this many degrees right here, because the event is coming out at this angle. So if you tilt your head to the right, you can see it go by with its moons. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to slow it down just a tad bit. I think it's right about there where you can really start to. Can you see that? And it's really kind of hard to describe until it's in motion. There's a good frame of it, and we'll go into that here in a minute. But I want you to get to see that. It really helps if you tilt your head to the right, 45 degrees, almost a little bit more, and then watch that event go by and see the bigger sun in the middle with a bunch of moons that are around it. One more time. This side doesn't do it justice. We're looking at the red side here. It really captures it here. There. One more time at this speed, just so you guys can catch one more glimpse at this, and then we'll go through it frame by frame. So hard to do this. Thank you, Lord, for helping me with speaking through me. I don't even know what to say or how to say this. It just let the Lord speak. So, all right, I think this is the frame. Is that well? This is good enough right here for the moment. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna zoom in on the red side now, and instead of tilting the camera, what I'm gonna do first, I want to get all the wavy lines out. Everything kind of looking good on your guys' end right here, right about there, I think. All right, here's the little moon that's out in front. You can see the plasma on the back side of it and this trailing plasma behind it, okay? Our bigger sun, basically burned out sun, is about right there. And it has another moon up here. And there's one here casting a shadow. There's another one here. Oh man, there's just so many of them. I want to get this just right. And tilt your head, like I said, to the right here. Trying to find this happy medium to where we can see it properly. And then I'm going to turn down the tint without doing the tilting of the screen. Get rid of this light. All right, you got to remember this burned out sun is dark. It's black, all right? So it doesn't reflect light, but you can see the way that this plasma is coming out. Here's a moon right here. It's bent over this moon. This plasma came up from here and bent all the way over and then goes straight again, all right? Is that tint working or is that too dark? Let me go right there. Okay, so once you've got your head kind of cocked at this angle, you can see the much bigger central star, burned out star. Here's a moon here. There's one right there. There's one right here. There. Let me see if we go one more. Wait. I think now I can just use this button now. Trying to get things set up to where I don't have to. All right, there's another good frame right there. You can make out this one right out here. All right, here's the main object. Going to back, there's another one back there. See how it's light right there? Seems to be maybe one right in that area as well. And what I'm going to try to do is jump another frame. Sorry, the frame keeps jumping, but it's either that or we scroll down and have to do all that. But right about there, you can see the other objects around it right here. There's one right here. There's this up here as well. Then there's one back here that's taking this light and bending it over. You can also see them casting shadows. Which frame is that one here? Are you guys seeing this? You're mighty quiet, so I'm taking that you're seeing this, and it's just, there we go. And see that little plasma tail on the smaller object, the smaller moon in front? Still kind of connected. All right, now that you see it and you know what to look for, let me capture it right there and then put it back in motion. So bear with me for a second. We're going to get this sucker started back up, pull it back over. Hopefully this new way of tinting it works better than what we were doing before. Now watch the motion. Keep your head tilted to the right and watch as this thing goes by. Do you see it now? I heard somebody say, "Holy shit." I could hear that. uh, that's funny. Bam. Can you see it now? That's the Nemesis system with a bunch of moons or some kind of system, a small solar system with a bunch of planets or moons, satellites, orbiting satellites. You can see other ones trailing back behind it and stuff. Now, just like this celestial calendar was all pointing at this day, at January 11th, and a lot of people thought this would be the rapture or something. They're like, yeah, what's going to happen? Something's going to happen on this day. And, we have all these wars and rumors of wars and that stuff going on. Well, that's a big distraction. So you're not seeing what's really happening. All right, one more time there. Just let it. Boom. All right. And you got to remember, it's coming from like back in this direction. It's coming kind of at you, almost out of the page over your right shoulder, your left shoulder, sorry. Kind of coming at you, but going, above your head and above your left shoulder. And I'm just let that sit there for a minute. Let you guys wrap your mind around that for a minute. And you can see trailing ones behind as well. Also, take note how intense this spire is, how more intense it gets right before the explosion, and then it fades away. That one was pointing at something for a while, and I was wondering, what are we going to see coming out of this intense spire right here? Because they act like a compass needle. They point at the inbound object system in this case. All right, so hopefully it seems like it's capturing it pretty well on my camera here. I don't see. Yeah. Whew. All right, yeah, let's move on. I see people are kind of leaving because they're like, I can't stand to look at that anymore. All right, so breaking it back up, move on with our report. So multiple flares, multiple CMEs off the sun today as well. You saw the activity. There we go. Let that play for a second. Normal size, normal speed. And it just looks like a regular kind of flare. A little CME at first, but once you look at it, the right perspective, you see that it's a lot more than meets the eye. And that's a, pretty wide blast that came off of it too. All right, let's come on over to our solar ham. Here we go. You guys are troopers. I'll tell you what, the people that are still here watching, you guys got some guts. You have some, what we call intestinal fortitude. All right, here we are over at the solar ham. Big day on the sun, choppy, boom, 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 just kind of like yesterday. That was all stuff leading up to our system that moved by the sun today. And no real absorption out of that event or anything quite yet, which is good. Sunspots kind of decreasing. We still have the 1 beta gamma. We got our KP at kind of normal, which is good. Aurora is kind of normal right now as well. Okay, so that's all good. Everybody can kind of breathe right now. At this very moment, today, we're okay at this time. Oh, here. Now, see, when this thing went by, it ripped a big chunk of sun with it, this big long filament. A filament located in the northeast quadrant erupted Thursday morning at 5:30. A coronal mass ejection CME is visible in the latest coronagraph imagery, but so far appears to be headed mostly away from the Earth, over our left shoulder, kind of. And sure enough, if you were looking at the Earth, at the sun this way, that would be going over your left shoulder. Let me get it bigger for you guys. Terrible. I'm trying to report, and it's not even big enough for you to see. All right. Looking this way at the sun, you see it's passing this way. The system kind of moving like this. And as it passed, it triggered the CME as it went by this way. And we might have like electromagnetic side effects, residue from said passing system. All right. What was the other thing I said? Oh, yeah. While I'm thinking about it, before I forget, I got it written down. So this system has a bunch of moons or other little planetoids rotating around it, right? Those guys on the outer fringes, those would be your outer planets, whatever, blah, 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 in the solar system. When this thing passes, you might see something in the sky around the moon, a second moon. There's been a lot of people taking pictures of objects around the moon lately. And let's see, this left on the 11th. That would make it the 14th. It doesn't seem to be going any super fast or anything. That looks like a typical 3-day arrival. So I would say around the 14th, maybe go outside and take some pictures of the moon that night and see what you capture. That might be a night of a lot of footage coming in from around the country or something next to the moon as well. All right. Or in the sky, another moon. It doesn't have to be right next to the moon. It could be another part of the sky. But you can see why I'm saying that. All right. These outer objects, when the system goes by, might just get illuminated by the moon when they're passing by it. Or, might just hit the sun, might hit it at the right angle to where you see something. All right. So, ta-da, there's your inbound solar system. For lack of a better term, it's what I call Nemesis, and that's the same object that with its Nibiru, when one of these stellar cores, I believe these are stellar cores, the burned out remnants of a star or planet that's rotating around all this. They're so dense. They're electron deprived, super deprived. So any kind of electrons they get around, they suck them in to try to reignite and burn again, right? But they can't because they're all burned out. They're the burned out core, and they don't reflect light. But you see when they go by the sun, the electron exchange. You can see them ripping plasma, taking it with them, right? Like they're charging up or whatever. And what was I going to say? Anyways, you'll see this effect here. I'll show you something later on in the spiritual report that lines up with the same object, Nibiru. When they say Nibiru, it's like one of these stellar cores with the plasma wings coming off of it. The tail's streaking back, all right? Gives it the winged look, the winged effect look, okay? And that's what the ancients talked about as a winged planet. And you're thinking, how can a planet have wings? Well, they're like plasma wings, all right? When it's illuminated by the sun. Look at that. Oh my God. That is crazy. For those of you who can't see it, you're lucky. All right, back to the report. Sorry. So we have the CME from it kind of going this direction. The magnetic field we could hook up on the IMF lines, these black and white little lines. When this thing crosses our IMF line, it might do a little jolt to the planet or something. All kinds of stuff could happen from this thing, all right, from the passage of this thing. Also, spiritual attacks. Yeah, you're going to be, when this thing goes by, you're going to be getting spiritually attacked like a... All right. Solar activity reached moderate levels. Good enough of that. Let's come over here to this report here real quick. It's something I want to pick out of here for you too. Because all these solar reports are all picking up on stuff that's, effect, cause and effect. And they're all seeing the effects and they're like, what the heck's the cause though? See, and they ask, is something coming? See, they even feel it. Is something coming? Yeah, yeah, you could say something's coming. All right, the Earth side of the sun is mostly quiet. A more active region might be lurking around the corner. NASA's Solar Dynamics Observatory just saw a huge plume of plasma fly up from behind the sun's eastern limb. All right, that's a big old plume, and that's just what we see when these planets go by. This is the plasma, the magnetic connection they make with the sun, ripping plasma off, and some of it falls back down. The other gets spaghettified. It gets stretched out, and then it snaps, and the rest falls back down, and some of it goes with the object. But it's just interesting. Is something coming? Yep, something's coming. The blast site is hidden from view. It could be linked to an active far side sunspot group. Well, we know what it was really attached to, what really was causing it. Also, here, this Comet 12P missed a beat. So much for Old Faithful last year, and Ice Geyser 12P Brooks started erupting every 15 days. Remember that 15-day cycle we were talking about on that thing? Well, it wasn't so reliable. Astronomers began making predictions about future eruptions, and naturally, that's when the comet missed a beat. As soon as scientists think, oh, we got it, and they start making predictions, doing? Question mark. What happened? Where'd it go? Well, it was supposed to be right there. Well, something suppressed it. Something kind of like suppressed earthquakes. Anyways, interesting. You know, they follow their charts, and I see why they do that. It follows a rhythm, but not every time. God says, oh, not this time. You guys thought you had it and you were making predictions. So it goes to show you who's in control of the heavens. All right, so let's come on over here. Please let this be back. Come on, Russia. Oh, if you knew what was the true story going on behind that, you guys would not be happy. All right. Our latest grinding event again. Oh, thank you, Russia. They just updated. We're pumping along. We had our grinding, screeching event. Not good. Right here, this 20 or this level right here that I think is probably where the crust mantle grinding happens at this frequency, because when you hit the crust, the frequencies slow down, and these are all lower frequencies from there up. So this would be almost like the crust, and everything down below this, something screeching along at this frequency right here. And every time we see this, we see volcanoes. So it's probably, you see how it's screeching along at that level down there. We have magma on the move, grinding on the underside of the plate. Now, on the underside of the crust. There we go. As we came out of this, we were pumping along strong, almost kind of wispy, but wide, but still there. And then you see this petering out right there. We had a little weakening of the magnetic field, and you see these dark stripes that go down right through here. A couple of little ones. It was faint, not totally missing, but you can see that it was pretty faint there. And this site won't let me zoom in, but I think this new camera is working good enough to where you can see it. All right, so grinding event, that's also indication of pressure has built back up down below. It built up. We had probably some volcanoes, earthquakes, released a little bit, got back to going again, and now we've taken in some energy and it's starting to grind again. You can see this next one coming on right here. And maybe at the end of the show, we'll come back and check this and see how much further it's gone. All right, so pressure has built up down below again. And here we come over here to the null school. Please, Lord, you're doing so good with all the shots. All right. Look how our other polar vortex is just very elongated. It's been this weird shape for a while, for a moment now. And as my kids say, for a minute now. All right, this vortex was more organized, but look, it has stretched out as well. That's all one vortex, See how we area and actually has stretched out now. So it has elongated. This vortex that was circular in shape has elongated much like this one has. All right, this one seems to be our new powerhouse. It was a sub vortex a couple of weeks ago and has gained in strength and is really looking to me like it's going to be the dominant takeover vortex. As well as what was this? Oh yeah. So this sub vortex is taking cold air here from China and from this polar vortex and whipping it down into China. The other thing I saw, oh, we need to talk about this now. We're getting wavy lines again. All right, there we go. All right, you see this kind of circular shape right here? This one that kind of looks like a face with an eye, a nose, and a mouth, and little ears. There we go. Never mind the face. I want you to look at the circular shape, almost spheroid type shape. You see the air damming up back here. I'm going to let go and let the wind go. Do you see the flow? How this flows over like a rock in under the river? Like say a rock is an inch under the surface, and it makes the water at the surface bubble and go around, and there's eddies, and just you can see this flow and this circular shape has disrupted this flow. When we pull back, it's a dead zone. We have the polar vortex right there and a dead zone. An eerily round spheroid type dead zone with a eerily looking face type structure on it. That's been there for a while. I figured after an hour that formation would be gone. I would have to back up an hour to find it, but it's still there. And it seems to be interfering or controlling the polar vortex or manipulating it. That's the term I want to do. Because with this here, you see how it pinches it off, puts this bubble, it pushes this vortex this direction, which in turn, if it's coming in this direction, it's pushing this more towards us. Now, the other day, this divergence right here where it splits was much higher. It was up here in Canada, and it was diverging and going right here. This has sunken lower down into America. All right, if you look, this new polar vortex is almost off the coast of Washington and Oregon now, Northern California. Yeah, I heard, oh shit. Wow, I could hear that. All right, so yeah, oh shit. I'm sorry, that was, I don't cuss, I just heard somebody. Anyway, so this is bringing a very intense cold snap to our area. It's driving cold air way down low, and the thing that Mike was talking about, maybe some polar vortex sucking in air from space. Of these two, which one do you think it might be? It almost looks like it's kind of three-dimensional going down into it, but it's not. Almost looks like it though. Anyway, this is air coming out of the right off the North Pole, right down into us. All right, they're talking minus 30s, 40s, wind chills that are just going to be bone chilling. And remember, I was talking about that instant freeze, that quick freeze event. Here it comes. Not necessarily like in the movie Day After Tomorrow, but very similar in a polar vortex sucking in air from space and shooting cold air in a blast. All right. It might not freeze everything instantly, like the movie, but it will freeze things pretty quickly. Everybody get ready. Get your blankets, get ready. The power goes out and you got no heat, and this cold air mass is coming in. I would get firewood, even if you don't have a fireplace. So you could start one in your living room. All right, so there's that. Still getting wavy lines on my end. All right, let's move on here. Wait, there was more. What else? Oh, now down here, I want you to see something. This flow that's coming off of South America is here's the equator. All right, usually most air stays below the equator. Most air stays above the equator. Every once in a while, you get a little vortex where it loops some over and then sends it back down. But look at what this is doing. This is actually taking it up and up again. Sorry, to Mexico. We are getting warm tropical air from the southern hemisphere coming up into Mexico and crossing where? The Gulf Coast. Do you see this region growing right here? This red stripe, this is where we've been seeing a lot of our tornadoes coming together along this line. Look out, this pattern might continue. And it might get worse because look at how close we are to this polar vortex here. And this is the cold air pumper, and this is the warm, moist air pumper. We got them both just pinched off. Look how close they are. Here's the warm air. There's polar air. Look how, watch out in this zone. Things are about to get even nuttier. I think our inbound system has a lot to do with this. I was trying to find the geomagnetic effect of the lava moving down below, causing rotation like this, the core possibly doing this and stuff. This it could be from that as well, but this almost seems to be kind of correlating with our inbound system. This little pull away, look how this whole vortex has this straight line. It just pulls it all the way down. Something going on in this zone right here that's diverting this from going all the way around. And it's another vortex down here pushing up, pinching it off. And this one seems to be spherical. It's like there's a big sphere hovering up at this altitude, diverting air, which has repercussions all around the world. This little bubble right here has repercussions all the way around the world, and you can see why, because it does this and it shoves it that way, right? Changes everything. One well-placed thing in the flow can divert flow and cause different, asymmetries and different directions and different eddies and flow. Look at this face. This is just eerie. All right. Let's move on because we got earthquakes to talk about as well. See a few more people have made it here now. Not too much, thankfully, but we did have some bigger quakes because we have pressure down below. Okay, let's get into it. Starting right about here, usually 4.9. Okay, you know what we do with 0.9s here now. So we have a 5.0 down at 503. Okay, roughly 5.0. Okay, here's roughly another 5.0, 4.8 down at 501. So we have two high range 4 to 5 quake, two deep ones. Then we have a 4.8 here on this little plate boundary already. Over here, equal energy, 4.8 down at 124. Pretty quiet in this little zone. But coming over here, 4.7, still that same energy, off by a point. 4.3, now this is down at 308. This is a semi-deep quake. So at the surface, 4.5, a little bit higher maybe. Here, another 4.8. So it's that same kind of energy that's just being regulated along these little lines right now, which shows that it's kind of calm down below a little bit. There's a 4.6. That's the same magnitude down at 33. Now coming over here to this event. And this is where we had our 6.4. I heard it was the 6.7. Now it says 6.4. Anyways, 6.4 to 6.7 in this region. They downgrade, they never give an upgrade. There's a 4.1 down at 223 and 206. Yeah, that was probably 6.5, maybe 6.6 or something. At that deep, and to have an aftershock that magnitude even deeper, that tells me this quake was just a tad bit stronger than 6.4. I'd say maybe 6.5 or 6.6, not 7. I take that 7 back. But anyways, here's 4.1 down at 208, 4.2 down at 219, 4.3 down at 101. This is a sign of this energy that's down a little bit deeper in this region coming through at this fulcrum point. All right, there's like a weak spot in the crust, and now we're seeing a little quake, not quake swarm, but a good sized quake with some aftershocks there. This is one we need to be thankful. 5.0 right there. That could have been a lot worse. A lot of pent up energy in this area needs to be released. I'd like to see a lot more 5.0s so we divert a 7.0 or a big volcanic eruption there. Now, up here at Iceland, things have changed. Hoffen now is this it's the main volcano here under the ice sheet. We're going to kind of go in here, and you can see the tallest part right here of the island is under this ice sheet. It's a big mountain, and sure enough, it has a triangle shaped crater. And right next to it is your 4.5. Now, I think that fissure that opened up had, that viscous lava come up through it and then solidify. Now, when pressure built up again down below, it couldn't come up through that crack anymore because it plugged it up. So the pressure down below is finding the next weak spot in the area, the nearest, weak spot. And that's in the old dormant volcano, not dormant, but the older volcano that's under the ice here. When this thing explodes, it's going to send ice and water. All this melts, turns into lahars. Let's everybody be wise about what could possibly happen here. I'm not saying it's going to, but the way things are going, if we could take a lot of pressure, we could possibly see an event happen here instead of along the where was it, down here along that line, which is a breather for the people there in Iceland. It'd be nicer to have their events further away from their tourist attractions so they can still make money and live, right? All right, cool. Back to business here. Oh, yeah, we didn't go up to Japan here. Now we got movement here again at Japan. 4.5, it's not too bad. That's that mid-range 4 energy that was creeping up through the system. It's hitting up all the the weak spots. This is the spot where we see the big event with a bunch of quakes here before at 5.0. So little indicators of our live spots. They're still kind of letting you know this is a spot to watch for. This is a spot. Okay, let's move on up here. Finally, something along this ridge line. 4.5. It's been a while. We don't get many quakes along this anymore because of all volcanoes that are going off now up here. Can I have that one? 4.3 down at 109. Do I take too long doing this earthquake report? Do you guys, or do I go through too quick? Oh, too quick. Too long. Kind of even on that one, huh? All right. Well, 3.1 there. Not much energy coming up over the hump. Thank you. Thank you, Lord. Nothing going on here. Mighty quiet. Nothing going on here. Just this little mouse fart, 3.3 down there. And a little mouse fart over here, 2.8. Cocos plate. Got to watch this one. 4.3 down to 49 to see if it's on the shelf. Nope. It's on the plateau. All right. Yeah, any kind of landslide along one of these shelves. When this thing passes, it does the tidal retreats and tidal surges. It has a magnetic grip or a gravitational grip sometimes on the planet, much like the moon does, and will cause a tidal surge in a bay that's very tight, compact like this. Okay, you'll see water draw out of a bay here like that and then come rushing back in. So you might see tidal surges and retreats, not because of earthquake activity, but by the passing of this system. All right, the gravitational effects of it tug on the water of the planet, and we get these weird tidal surges and retreats. We've had them before. People are like, whoa, 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 why is this happening? Well, you wouldn't believe me if I told you, so I got to show you. It's too bad I have to do it this way, too. Anyways, down here at the South Sandwich Islands, we got a 4.8 down. There's their energy moving around. Remember, we had that odd quake right here in the middle of the plate. Nothing there, but sure enough, middle of the plate up here at Hawaii, 3.2. Okay, good enough, good enough. Moving on. Volcano report. This is one we have to take a little time with now, too. Whew, thank you for being so patient. You guys are awesome. January 11th, the dreaded day. Seen on the celestial calendar for a long time coming, and everybody was wondering what was going to happen this day. Well, our old Nemesis is back. Can we, Lord, can we have the volcano page work for me, please? Thank you. Oops. What are we doing? Something. All right. So, Suwanosejima, January 11th, explosive activity continues, 7,000 feet. Come over and read these reports if you like to know more about these. I just kind of going through them. I'll slow down at some of them. 8,000 feet here at Luatobi. All right, it used to be Luatolo was the one going off, and then his new little buddy Luatobi started going off, and it's been going off this whole time. Now up to 8,000 feet. Toyota Land Cruisers are cool. All right. Samaru, 15,000 feet. Marapi, January 11th, the alert level for the volcano raised from 2 to 3. So another one that went 2 to 3. No, that's the same one that went 2 to 3. Again, low frequency, long period earthquakes. Low frequency, long period. That's just like what we're seeing on the Schumann resonance. Low frequencies, long period events. Look at this. Trident, United States. That's a new one. January 11th. The activity of the volcano has waned over the past month. Oh, I didn't know we had activity at Trident this past month until it's over and they're saying it's waning now. So watch out for Trident. It might come back to life because we're getting pressure buildup again. Popo, 18,000 feet. Santiaguito, 13,000 feet. Fuego, 16,000. See, we still got a bunch of these that are over 10,000 feet and well over too. 16, 14, 5. What was the other one? 13. Okay, Sabancaya. That was just for the 11th. There was more. Where is... Oh. Did we go... Oh, I know what happened. I think this is part of it too. Suwanosejima, 7,000 feet. Here, That's the one I'm looking for right there. Nope, same one. Okay, so there's your. I thought we were going to be spending more time here, Lord. What happened there? There was something else there. What was it? It will come back to it. Let's get on over to this forecast now. This is ultimate importance too. Okay, you can all go study volcanoes a little more. We need to get into this. All right, there's your current conditions, and I'm just going to hit play and let this kind of. You need the motion to kind of, and then watch what happens as well over here. The motion kind of helps give you a better idea what to expect here. Come on, you. I was trying to show you this little runner here so you knew how far along we were in the loop. Okay, pause them right there. Back it up. All right, current conditions. Whoa. Right there. Current conditions, January 11th. Okay, we have inbound energy for the 12th, I think. Tomorrow will be the 12th. We need to go to 3 days before that, the 9th, and see what came off the sun on the 9th. So we know what to expect for tomorrow, because once they change the tracker and they add so many more on there, you lose track of what's coming your way each day. So it's good to just kind of go back the 3 days and see, oh yeah, this event right here, we might be getting the a little side shot of it right there. A little glancing blow. Thank you, glancing blow. You guys had that thought. That's why I couldn't think of it. Somebody out there had it for me. All right, you saw this rotating event over here as well. Let me speed this one up real quick because this one was interesting. Yeah, watch this spinning event right there. The plasma coming out and spinning around it. If it'll play smooth, how about we slow down one then? Yeah, there we go. All right, so this is the energy right here, this glancing blow that's going to be hitting us tomorrow on the 12th. All right, so we're going to have energy absorb hitting this and enhancing this storm tomorrow is what I'm trying to say. Sorry, I'm exhausted. I've been up for I don't know, almost 2 days now. All right, let's just continue here. So they come together, they kiss, they're making babies, current conditions, and then as we go into the morning, you're going to have nocturnal thunderstorms and the possibility of tornadoes in the morning. See how tight these millibars are? This is a tightly wrapped low. It's going to be the bomb cyclone with, there's 989 millibars. But then when this energy also hits this, I expect it to enhance what the computer's already predicting. All right, I don't think this is taking into consideration plasma hitting and enhancing the weather. All right, so this might be a little bit bigger. It might be a little further back, south, whatever. These measurements aren't precise, but roughly this area. In the morning, you guys wake up early and just see what's going on before, and then you can go back to bed. Anyways, as we go, that's the morning of the 12th. Then it really wraps up and organizes tight here by the noontime. You can see these millibars are really small, really tight, wrapped up. You're going to see cyclonic action right there, especially around the edges where this stuff curves right here. So the severe thunder, this severe weather that they're calling for in this area. Let me zoom this. Lord, please. I'm trying to zoom this in for them. Thank you. Yeah, there we go. You have to forgive me. I'm in a lot of pain, so It's hard to focus and do this. All right, so these severe thunderstorms right along here, these pop ups that come out in front right in there, it's going to be a dangerous situation again tomorrow for this region. Do not forget about the snow on the backside. This is intense blizzard again, all right? You're going to be getting the power knocked out. You got this cold Arctic blast coming in behind it. So once this machine comes through and just kind of lawnmower, mows everything down, you're going to have this cold, cold air come in, all right? If this thing knocks out the power, what are you going to do for heat for the next few days? All right? Very important you guys think ahead on this one because this one's a lot more dangerous or has the potential to be. So there's your low at 985. There's 977 at the end of convection January 12th. That's tomorrow, folks. The end of convection tomorrow. Severe blizzard on the backside. Look out, Illinois, Chicago, everybody here. What? Lake effect snow. Tell them about lake effect snow. Okay, there might be lake effect snow, I guess, on the backside. Usually it comes on the other side, but we'll see here. We'll see. The possibility for added. Yeah, okay, I see what he's saying now. Right here, the possibility for added accumulations on the back sides of these because of lake effect. So some of these accumulations might be really deep, especially Chicago, right there, deeper than what they're indicating already, right there. Then this low, just monster, keeps going at night up into New York, Pennsylvania, and then the wee hours of the morning, bingo. This thing has a mind. It's on a mission. It looks like it's out to destroy Long Island or this area, Massachusetts, New York City, the whole area right there. That is going to be one intense morning. And this, again, is morning. This is warm air mixing with the polar vortex and creating wintertime thunderstorm and possible tornado. I don't know what the millibars might be different. The wind shear. Ooh, we could go check wind shear, couldn't we? I might go do that in another map here a little bit. Anyways, let's finish this up. I'm trying, you guys. There is the noontime of the 13th. Unlucky 13th, all right? Boom, boom, boom. I have a bad feeling this is gonna be a little bit more intense than this, what they're showing on the map, especially with our inbound system and the inbound energy affecting this storm as well. See how the severe weather they're calling for here, icing event along the Oregon-Washington border right there at the Columbia River. This stuff moving out. You can look at Canada, the areas up there, but then we have this moving in. This is going to come attack my region now. Severe weather along the coast. I guess that could mean land spouts making water spouts making landfall on the California coast, even up into Oregon, possibly. Very, very heavy rains in the valley, heavy snow in the mountains. I would watch out for flash flooding along the foothills, down in the valleys here. Once this moves through, this is a lot of moisture in a short amount of time, just like they had over there. All right, let me back up. That would be the end of convection, the 13th, right there, going into the nighttime of the 13th on the West Coast, morning of the 14th, going in the middle, noontime. Convection. This low is down in Mexico. This cold air ridge is going all the way down into here. There's the nighttime of the 14th, and then it starts to come back up. You see, grabbing moist water or moist air and warm water over the warm water and driving it into this. They kind of miss each other. Little icing events in between. This is a high pressure ridge. It's just pushing it out of the way. So yeah, that gets dished off the coast. Still wraparound moisture, snow on the backside though, right in that event. And now that's out in the 16th time frame. The rest of this isn't as accurate, so we're just kind of zing through there. Not much really there. Something moving in up here. I have a feeling we're going to be in for an Arctic blast for a while. Hopefully, it won't be too bad. Here's another storm moving in on the 22nd, possibly the night of the 22nd up there. But the rest of the map looks pretty good. It's just that next storm that's coming. That's the bomb cyclone one that we're all wondering what's going to happen. So, current conditions right now, they're just hooking up. They're just kissing. You see a few little babies in there. And then we have icing event, severe weather, even a little bit of red in the very tail of that by the morning of the 12th. So we might see some storm chasers popping up live here in a few hours to cover this morning time event if it blossoms and turns out to be like this. Today's going to be a very long day for weather chasers right there. That's the noontime. Convection. And then the nighttime of the 12th. Unlucky 13. The morning of the 13th is just going to wallop this area. Bam. And I know why. This is climate change because of man. Because of not his pollution, but his iniquity. The iniquity of the rulers, the people in high places. Yeah, kind of like your presidents and leaders and stuff. It's their sins and their iniquity that's bringing this on the planet. They're right. It is human caused climate change, and you can blame Joe Biden and all his criminality and all his ilk and all their criminality is what's causing this. This is a spiritual event. Their wicked ways have caused spiritual events to unfold, and now you're seeing Bible prophecy unfold, just like it said, just like it said it would. All right, blah 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 blah. All right, let's get on with it. So we're coming over here. This is September 10th, 2017, 13 days before the Revelation 12 star alignment. There's also another alignment that happened today. I'll put a little gal does a really good job on them. These celestial calendars that she's noticing in the stars with stellarium. And that's how we found the Revelation 12 star alignment, was using stellarium. Here we have what appears to be near Nibiru, the fabled winged planet. Okay. And what I'm going to do here. Okay, this showed up 13 days before the Revelation 12 star alignment. It's in the Revelation, it says a dragon appeared in front of the woman, stood before the woman, ready to consume her child. Well, this stood in front of the woman by 13 days. And as I take there we go. So I tint it down a little bit. Hopefully, now you can see this wing on this side. You can see this one coming out, curving and pointing back. Almost looks like a little, not horns, but like a little wing. It's a little plasma wing. And then if you tilt your head, you can see this one right there barely. If I move my hand. All right. This is also making an electric circuit with the sun. The sun is squirting out plasma out the southern pole of it. It's making contact with the southern pole of this, wrapping around it, and connecting with the northern pole. This is a magnetic field line from the sun. This is like a shell, a certain way, distance out from the sun, and this thing passed through that magnetic field line and arced. It made the sun arc. And this arc went around it and charged this object, the stellar core that can't reflect light. But when it's draped by plasma, much like an invisible table draped with a tablecloth, it shows you the contour. All All right. And September 10th, 2017. Now, right behind that is. Can we, Lord? There we go. This image right here. I'm just going to go ahead and play this video real quick for you guys because I got to step aside for a second and say a prayer. Let me see if we got. Oh, we got music on in the background. Stop. Hold that thought, everybody. Let me cancel this music. Put that back on. That was the missing frame. The next frames were missing there from that series of images, but I was able to capture the most important ones at least. So there we go. Now maybe we can. Here's our object right here. Looks like Nibiru. It's got a wing coming off on this side and a wing coming off on that side. And that's not all, because behind that is this big object right here. This is what's causing our flares. Here's a conduit of plasma that is sucking off of our sun, going into this planet. Here's a damage ring or an impact zone on this planet right here. You can see Nibiru sticking out in front of it here. Okay. Can you see this big round stellar core right there? It's three-dimensional. It's a spheroid. This little conduit of plasma is cone-shaped. It's coming from the top of the sun as well as the bottom in a wedge-type shape, and then hits the surface of this stellar core and spreads out in a circular fashion, creating a damage zone or impact zone or a damage ring. All right, and you can see it on the face of that planet right there. Let's try going a little. There we go. That's a little bit better. Can you guys see that there? Yeah. All right, cool. You can then. And you wouldn't see it if it wasn't for this light bending. It's actually taking the plasma, is hitting the surface and bending over the surface of this round ball. All right, can you see it now? Look how big this is compared to our sun. Our sun is the size of this white circle. All right, it's not the black circle. That's the occulter on the camera. Most of you know that, but some need a reminder. The sun's the size of the white circle. Notice how much bigger that is. Okay, that's Nemesis, Herculobus. It has many names. The Destroyer. A lot of people think Nibiru's the Destroyer because they can see this one. They see the wings on it, right? It gets illuminated. They see the wings on it, and they think this is the Destroyer. When in actuality, behind it is, for lack of a better term, a black hole. All right, and we're gonna get into that shit. We're gonna get into that tonight, huh, Lord? All right, let's do that then. This object matches the criteria for a black hole. It's what I believe to be a burned out stellar core, which is the core of a burned out star. It's depleted all of its electrons, all of its protons. It's super depleted of electrons. If you took a copper top battery and you drained it all the way down to 0 electrons, right? And then you drained it more. Well, how could you do that? Well, if you drained it more, the copper wiring would change phase into another material that is super depleted of electricity or ions. All right. Much like this object is super depleted, it won't reflect light, but it will absorb it. And so much light hit it that it splashed over the top. All right, and I think you guys can see what I'm talking about here. God showed me this, all right? We went through 4 hours of agonizing, try this, look at this way, look at it that way, until I was able to finally see what he was trying to show me. And then he says, I need you to tell everybody, warn everybody. I'm like, oh boy. So, but now you guys can see it. That's the dragon of Revelation 12 showed up 13 days before the star alignment. Now, what was the other part I was going to do, Lord? We needed to do. All right, so you could see that. Oh, I forgot what the heck we were going to do. Help me, Lord. We were talking about Nibiru. We were showing this. All right, now let's go back to this real quick. And this time you don't see Nibiru because these things rotate at different velocities. Every time it comes around, they're in a different configuration. That's why it's so hard to predict when you're going to see it, or, it doesn't really follow a set cycle that we're used to, right? That our astrophysics aren't used to. But this thing sure is an indicator. And then here's a little foretaster. Something was out in front of it right there. Another one was out in front of it right there. Oh, wait, that's the ninth. My bad. My bad. That's the ninth. I'm looking and going, wait a second. This isn't the right one. There we go. I'm hoping that dimming the thing is helping capture it better a little bit. Yeah, let this load up real quick. So, boom. There it is. Let's see if we can pause it one more time. I think that's a pretty good shot right there. We'll zoom in on that a little bit. All right, like I said, tilt your head to the right. You can see the much bigger stellar core with its little objects. Oh, black hole. Thank you, Lord. That's what it was. So really quick, I did a video here on black holes, real quick, just to kind of give you a little idea of how they work and what it really is. Because Hollywood science, whatever, it's very deceptive. The term black hole in the first place, it's not a hole; it's a dense spheroid. Here, I'll show you. We're gonna do this one real quick. You guys are still hanging out here, good. Some of you like to learn. There it is. So first off, let's take the definition of a black hole here, and we'll simplify it too. A black hole is a superdense point in space formed by a collapsing stellar core more than 5 times the mass of the sun. A black hole's gravity is so powerful that even light cannot escape from it. So let's simplify this. A black hole really isn't a hole. It's a super dense stellar core that's more than 5 times the mass of the sun. A black hole's gravity is so powerful that even light cannot escape from it. So a black hole does not reflect light. Light cannot escape from it, so it can't reflect light. Okay, now to another important definition, the definition of a dark nebula. A dark nebula is a cloud of interstellar gas and dust that absorbs light and is only visible when silhouetted against a cloud of stars or another type of nebula. So a dark nebula is gas and dust, which is matter, that absorbs light and is only visible when silhouetted. Now here we are at September 10th of 2017. This is 13 days before the Revelation 12 star alignment in the sky. And the Revelation 12 states that a dragon appeared before the woman, draped in the sun, with the moon at her feet and a crown of 12 stars. Well, this appeared 13 days before the Revelation 12 star alignment. And what we have here appears to be a stellar core that is sucking material off the sun. Here is a conduit of plasma that it's ripping off of the sun and into this object. I'm going to back it up a frame here, because in front of that appears to be another smaller stellar core with what look like wings coming off on the sides, which are actually debris tails of matter that is being ripped off of this core and sucked into the bigger one back behind it. And now I'm going to back it up even more, because it all started with this little object that was orbiting the sun. And if you look back behind it, you cannot see this other stellar core. It is silhouetted by the sun, so you can't see it. All right, so you guys kind of understand that that thing has like more than 5 times the mass of our sun, right? It's 5 times bigger. How many of these little suns? This isn't even straight across yet. It's back at a 45-degree angle. See, the angle of this thing is coming still kind of out. This object still back behind the sun when this event happens. So this is still pointing back. It's not perpendicular to the sun. And when it is, it's actually quite bigger, like that size. All right. This is what gives men heart attacks, when they see this and they realize, oh, yeah. So there are a lot of nervous people probably down at NASA now, right about now, especially when this thing has returned. And you've seen it, right? Whoops, where were we? Why'd that back out? One more time here. It's going to have to load. And then we'll do it over on the red side, because it does a much better job of it. We'll even kind of lower the tint here, or the brightness. Yeah, tilt your head to the right. Remember, these things are dark. They don't reflect light. You're looking for missing light. Okay? Oh, yes. Now, do you want to view this object when it passes by? There is a way to view this object when it passes by, and I'm going to tell you how. On the 14th, when this thing should be going by the Earth, look for a dark patch in the sky. Go outside with like polarized sunglasses, work the best. Take a pair of polarized sunglasses, put them on, and then move your head left to right and look around the clear blue sky. If you have blue sky on the 14th, go outside and look around at the blue sky. You'll see it's all a uniformed color blue, except for one part will be darker blue in the sky, almost black. It's so dark blue that it has a black tint to it. It's actually where there's missing light. All right, so if you want to view this, you look for a dark patch in the sky. This will be over the northern hemisphere, definitely, because it's going over the northern hemisphere of the sun, right? So they won't see it in the southern hemisphere, but expect the effects of it to affect the northern hemisphere as well, not the southern. That's another rule that goes along with this thing. So we got what appears the return of our Nemesis system. All right, just coinciding with our storm, kind of. Definitely coinciding with God's celestial calendar as far as the stars go. I'll post a link of this lady's research. I think you'll find it fascinating. You got to realize that God works, his calendar works with the stars, so everybody understands it. All languages can understand events in the heavens, right? So there is the return of the Nemesis system. And last time it triggered some nasty storms when it went by. Hurricane Ivan, when it went by, I think it was Ivan. Yeah, was a nasty one. And everybody was watching the hurricane on September 17th. No, it was, that happened on the 10th. It was 3 days later on the 13th, I think, September 13th, when that rolled through. No, it was September 10th when this came off the sun, the same day we were having a major hurricane. It's almost as if it causes a hurricane, these matching roiling spots on the sun. There were two storms on the sun that actually matched the two storms on the earth in shape and size at the same time we had this object come off. Oh, whoa, okay. Oh, wait, leave that there. Come on back to here. Something else that happened during that event. Another sign in the sun that was missed was all right, first of all, sorry, I had to type it in there. All right, so we had this event right here on the sun. Pardon the music, I do that video for Halloween, but you can see this is September 10th. Right here, there's the X flare off the sun. Here's this evil smile, the two eyes, the head wound. Everything's there. That was on the sun the day of the Nemesis went by. All right, so it's a spiritual event here, and there's the big X flare right there. All right, here in a minute, something passes in front of it from left to right, and then exits top to bottom. All right, it's right here towards the end. In fact, we're going to do a different video that shows that. The same Halloween creepy video that I do each year. All right, now, right about here, a lot of people say this is where the camera, the shutter stops and it does a roll and then the camera shutter opens again. But I want you to check out what. All right, so in between that shot and you see where, whoops, I want to go back here. All right, you see how it moves up from the bottom? First it came from the left and covered it, then it went from the bottom and moved up. Well, yes, if the satellite did a 90-degree angle, that would happen. But why would it be happening at this very moment when this event is going on? Why is the camera doing a roll? Well, when I slowed it down, there's not a clear line. It's not an aperture. And when I was trying to get in between the full face and when it goes to up like that, I couldn't capture it, and then my computer froze up with this image on it. All right. My computer froze up with that image on it right there. And I was spooked. I was like, oh my God. And I thought I had the wherewithal to go, oh, you know what? I should take some pictures of this. So I grabbed my phone and took some pictures of my screen. But that's the moment when the supposed aperture, now there would be a straight line. There wouldn't be any light coming up from above it. Do you see what I'm saying? This is not an aperture effect. This was something different. Okay, because if the aperture was closed and only showing half the sun, why are these two spots, these two sunspots, still showing up? You could see the face. It's a spiritual event. Okay, and I need to get rid of the spooky music. That's more for Halloween. So there was the face on the sun, September 10th. That day, the dragon showed up. All right, and then when I was trying to get, the image where it was half going up like this, there is no image. There is no, when you go through each one of these images on this site, there is no image of it halfway up like this. I couldn't get to it. It was, here, I got another video where I tried to do it. But anyways, that that image came up and froze on my screen, the one with the half blacked out face, and locked up my computer. My computer wouldn't work. I had to unplug it and do all sorts of stuff to get it to work again, but it froze up with that face on it right there. And you can see the light coming up the sides here. It's all jagged along here. We got dark down here still where there's light. We got light up here where it should be dark. So this is not the aperture effect. This is the spiritual realm showing itself. There was another sign on the sun that day that nobody else captured, that nobody else caught. All right. They missed Nibiru. They missed the Nemesis. They missed this face on the sun, but they all saw the woman in the stars. That should have been more than enough right there. But little did they know, all kinds of other signs were happening in that time frame. Okay, and then that's when all this stuff started happening to me. It was right here, September 10th. My life changed. All right. What else we're gonna do? I think that was it. Um, oh, come back. Well, I am back. You just don't recognize me. Well, maybe you will now. All right, there's our beautiful Savior right there, showing up on Easter in the clouds as promised. 2,000-year-old prophecy. Again, 2,000-year-old prophecy coming true on Easter. That should blow you away. That's what blew me away, is this happened on Easter. I mean, what more confirmation could you need, huh? There's an eye, the other eye, the nose, the mouth, the chin and beard, and the hair flowing back. Tilt your head to the right. You can see the crown up there above it sticking up. All right. This is the mountain, the same mountain that's been in all those other spiritual captures as well. Okay, that's the same mountain I ended up being homeless at for 40 days and 40 nights out in the desert. Camped out, got dished in this area, and the only spot I could find was kind of at the base of this mountain. And it was like I was put there for a reason. I set up camp out in a bush, and I knew I would be delivered. There wasn't a moment of worry in my mind, because this angle is actually looking down at my campsite. It was like he was already looking at my campsite years before I even got there and got delivered. All right, all those pictures going across the top. I took hundreds and hundreds of pictures. I just showed you that in the spiritual stuff thing the other night. Here it turns into the lion face. Okay, round face with an eye. There's the nose, an eye there, eye going that way, the mouth slit. Okay, that round face right there with the crown still above it here. Now it's going to change. I stacked like 20 of those pictures on top of each other in a flip book. That's not a morphed image from whatever software programs they got. What do they call it? I don't even know what they call it anymore, but that is a bunch of my pictures I took myself on Easter. And you can see that lion face turning into Jesus. It's the tribe of Judah, the lion of the tribe of Judah, showing up on Easter as promised. Okay, let's just freeze frame right about there. I think this way of doing the brightness is better than tinting it and tilting the camera, the screen here. All right, got a nice clear image of him there. Should bring a little bit of peace and relief. Should bring some hope. Should strike fear, too, in the hearts of non-believers. Otherwise, you guys are all good. All right, we're going to do the reading here. Add some stuff you want me to read tonight. So, we're just going to get into it. Especially with what we just witnessed happening January 11th. Okay. I am with you and for you. When you decide on a course of action that is in line with my will, nothing in heaven or on earth can stop you. You may encounter many obstacles as you move towards your goal, but don't be discouraged and never give up. With my help, you can overcome any obstacle. Do not expect an easy path as you journey hand in hand with me, but do remember that I, your very present helper, again, I say it because of the beep in the background, but remember that I, your very present helper, am omnipotent. Much stress results from your wanting to make things happen before their times have come. One of the main ways I assert my sovereignty is in the timing of events. Did you hear that? One of the main ways I assert my sovereignty is in the timing of events. If you want to stay close to me and do things my way, ask me to show you the path forward, moment by moment. Instead of dashing headlong towards your goal, let me set the pace. Slow down and enjoy the journey in my presence. Everybody's worried about dying, but are you really living? Huh? Are you? Are you stuck in the world? Do you have peace now? Are you starting to get how this works? All right. Every time you affirm your trust in me, you put a coin into my treasury. Thus, you build up equity in preparation for the days of trouble. I keep safely in my heart all trust invested in me, with interest compounded continuously. The more you trust me, the more I empower you to do so. Practice trusting me during quiet days when nothing much seems to be happening. Then, when storms come, your trust balance will be sufficient to see you through. So store up for yourself treasure in heaven through placing your trust in me. This practice will keep you in my peace. Where's the other one? Oh, so many tonight. Hope you guys are enjoying these. You got a lot of them tonight. Trust me by relinquishing control into my hands. Let go and recognize that I am God. This is my world. I made it and I control it. Yours is a responsive part in the litany of love. I search among my children for receptivity to me. Guard well this gift that I have planted in your heart. Nurture it with the light of my presence. When you bring me prayer requests, lay out your concerns before me. Speak to me candidly. Pour out your heart. Then thank me for the answers that I have set into motion long before you can discern results. So when your requests come to mind again, continue to thank me for the answers that are on the way. If you keep on stating your concerns to me, you will live in a state of tension. When you thank me for how I am answering your prayers, your mindset becomes much more positive. Thankful prayers keep your focus on my presence and my promises. Oh, there's more and more and more. There is a time for everything and a season for every activity under heaven. When you seek my face and my will, searching for my guidance, I may show you the next step on your journey without revealing the appointed time for you to take that step. Instead of going full speed ahead as soon as you know what it is the next step, you must wait until I show you when I want you to go forward. There is a season for everything. This means that even the most fulfilling times in life must eventually give way to something new. Whereas some of my followers chomp at the bit to forge ahead into new territory, others hold back even when I am clearly directing them to go forward. Moving from a comfortable season of life into a new situation can feel scary, especially to those who dislike change. However, I want you to trust me enough to cling to me and follow wherever I lead, whenever I choose. Your times are in my hands. So do not be terrified or discouraged, for I am with you wherever you go. It is easy for my followers to feel frightened and pessimistic when the mainstream voices in this world speak so heavily against them. Looking at this life through godless, biased lenses will indeed pull you down. Christian courage is the antidote to this poisonous input, and it is nourished by the knowledge that I am always with you. It is crucial to remember that you can see the reality is only a very small piece of the whole. When Elijah was deeply discouraged, he said he was the only one who had remained faithful. Yet there were thousands in Israel who had not bowed down to Baal. Elijah was blinded by his isolation and his discouragement. Similarly, Elijah's servant was terrified because he couldn't see what Elijah saw: horses and chariots of fire all around to protect them from enemy forces. So, beloved, not only am I with you, but I have unlimited resources to help you. So look beyond the way things appear and take courage. Whew. Wow. I guess what he had to say tonight. What was the notes? Oh, yeah. So watch for maybe the moon having companions when this system rolls through. Remember that you're looking for dark objects that don't reflect light all that well. So what you capture might be try using an infrared or night vision scope or something in that category. You might be able to capture something a little bit better. We'll see what happens when this thing approaches. Okay, but that's it for tonight. A lot of heavy stuff going on. A lot of stuff going on around the world. Wars ramping up. We got this inbound system. We got the storm. But we have peace and joy. Don't let them steal your joy. It's your strength. The moment they sap you of your joy, you get sapped of strength and then you lose courage. So don't, if the mainstream media is making you lose your joy, turn it off. Put some music on. Come over here. Put on your buddy here in the background and enjoy life. Okay, go live. You're supposed to be living this whole time, not worrying. You're supposed to be making memories right now. especially in these closing days, you know, unfinished business, making memories, um, getting right, getting your house in order, trying to get your loved ones on board. I know it's hard. The world's got a grip on them, and you look like the crazy one to them, huh? You're trying to warn them about all this stuff, and they think you're crazy. But little do they know you have advanced knowledge. Come on, Lord, can I have that back? What are you doing with my computer? Anyways, you guys have advanced knowledge, and this advanced knowledge can be a burden sometimes because it'll test your patience. You see, the public around you doesn't have this advanced knowledge. They're not blessed. They don't know. And you still have to deal with them. And it's testing your patience, isn't it? You're like, hey, oh, these people are idiots. Why don't they just know? Why don't they just see? Why can't they just figure it out? Why don't they just listen? It's very, very hard. It's very, very difficult. That's why it's important you guys share this stuff as well. So just keep hanging in there. Pray for each other. Pray for strength and endurance, joy. This is your foundation, okay? When this channel goes away and everything changes and, the world does what it's going to do, hold on to this in the back of your mind and always remind yourself, Brian told me this is a real image. Hold on to it, okay? Hold on to this like it's your life. This is better than gold, all right? This is your foundation, okay? He suffered. He did a miracle. He's back to show, what he's done, and the people that do appreciate it will be rewarded for his sacrifice. All right. It's all true. It's all real. I mean, before a couple years ago when I was showing these, it wasn't very believable. Well, now with the world events unfolding the way they are, now all of a sudden this is making a lot more sense now, isn't it? Yep. Yep. Making a lot more sense now. And I hope my voice is a soothing voice to you and brings peace and joy to you and not fear. Okay. He's the coolest dude you'd ever know, ever meet. And he's testing everybody. Who, if you want to go hang out with the coolest guy for eternity, well, he's not just going to be anybody. He gets to chill with them. It's a test of character. You're being tested. See if you're worthy to hang out with King of the Universe for eternity. All right. He loves you. He misses you. He does all kinds of stuff in the background that you don't see. Some of you are seeing it now. That's what's awesome. There's 27 of you seeing it. Every single one of you are seeing results now in your life. That's awesome. I'm happy for you guys. I'm so happy for you guys. And please, continue to share this. That's about, I think, about it for tonight, Lord. Anything else? No, that's it. Okay, wrap it up. So that's it for tonight. We'll watch that storm, everybody going through tomorrow. I'll put up little things on the community page to if there's new changes or updates or anything like that, I'll put on the community page. All right. So I got to go. I got to get some rest. It's been a long 48 hours, 72 hours. Oh, that's right. 72 hours now. Anyways, I got to get a little bit of rest, and I'll be back here pretty soon and give you any kind of details if anything's changed. What was the one thing we want to go back? No, we'll look at it later. That's it for now. I love you all. I miss you all. God bless you all. And until my next show, I'll be back.